welcome to Big Fish. Dr. Faber is once again visiting India, and we have him again on this edition of Big Fish. Dr. Faber, wonderful to have you on NDTV.
Yes, thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Let's start with something which perhaps is of immense importance right now. Indian realty market, debut of DLF.
Yes.
You should always buy on rumors and perhaps sell on news. And the news is out that DLF has seen a smashing debut. What's your sense on Indian property stocks?
Well, I think that in general, worldwide, we had huge bull markets in properties, and there are some cracks in some property markets like the US, where prices have been declining and where we have a huge mess in the subprime lending industry that has now spilled over to the CDO market. We have some serious cracks in Spanish property where there was a huge oversupply and huge development took place, and they're now half empty. And I think the UK housing market looks also toppy and so forth. So in general, given the fact that real estate, like stocks, moves up and down, I'm not necessarily suggesting that to invest in especially Indian property stocks is the right thing to do. I would rather buy physical property in India than the stock markets, because frequently when you have big new issues, it signals actually a top in that sector. DLF is a case where I guess the promoters had a vision, and now the promoters have the money and the investors have the vision.
What's your sense when it comes to property prices then? Like you said, you would like to buy property rather than property stocks. Why is that?
Well, I think that everybody has, of course, different investment objectives and so forth. But if I look at the Indian property market, it is very little developed compared to other property markets in the world. So if you go to Thailand or Malaysia or even the Philippines, the property markets are much more developed than here in India. And here in India, there's a huge potential for integrated developments such as hotels, offices, shopping, entertainment, retail, and housing all in one. And so I still think there's a huge opportunity here. And then what we also have, as a result of budget airlines, more and more people will take off for their weekends and short holidays, and so the second home market will come up for the upper middle class, for the well-to-do people, beach resorts and so forth.
If one has to perhaps go back to the global drawing board once again, and prices are always a state of mind. The state of the mind seems to be bullish. Dow at an all-time high, Sensex at an all-time high, Chinese market at an all-time high, Russia approaching an all-time high. It's quite a global party, isn't it?
In India, the Sensex is at the new all-time high, but 70% of the shares today in India are lower than a year ago. It's just that the market advance has narrowed and has been focused on big market cap stocks, and that is usually not the best sign for a market when the generals continue to run but the army lags behind. So technically, I don't think that this is a very favorable development. It's a narrowing of the advanced decline line.
Last time when we met and on this particular forum, you were not sounding very convinced. Your opinion was that, look, if not a bear market, it could be beginning of a bear market. Market in last 3 months actually has gone on to make a new high, not only in India, pretty much across the globe. What has changed?
My view is the Fed, if they wanted to, they could gain control over money supply again, but they would have to push up, say, the Fed fund rate to around 6 to 6.5%.